Hi, we're the Flaming Liberals, and you are back for the Gay Agenda. Yay! Okay, so we just got done watching the Arcade Fire music video, We Exist, and we reserved our opinions before we actually just spewed them all out for camera. So who knows what you're gonna get? You'll probably get some disagreements, but it's all good. So, do you want to start us off?
Sure. I was aware that people had been talking about this video. I hadn't had a chance to watch it yet. And I knew that Andrew Garfield was cast for the video and that apparently was part of the issue at hand. And I told Jasara I could only imagine that it was probably about him being cast as what appeared to be a transgender role, where a lot of people in the LGBT community get, I guess, offended and upset that these roles that could go to transgender actors don't, that they go to cisgender actors, even though there is the upper hand that Andrew Garfield is a big name, so he's bringing this attention and recognition to either transgender people or the fact that we exist. So I don't know. I just imagined that was the issue, and lo and behold, that was exactly
it is. I have my own issues with it, but that's beside the point.
I guess, yeah, I expected to only have to be able to talk about that, and yet after watching the video, I'm like, what?
We're like, well, that actually has nothing to do with what I'd like to say.
I'm not necessarily offended by that video, but whoa, I might be a little offended by that video.
I'm offended by that video because I am transgender and I do drag, so I had like a problem with it because it was kind of, if I can go ahead and say it, I just feel like it was hating out drag queens or people that are transgendered is ridiculous. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, first of all, and this is just my own opinion, but most of us people who do drag, like, we have our shit together, alright? Like, you know, we don't take fucked up wigs that, like, stick out 10 ways to sundown and put them on, and most of us know how to, like, have some makeup technique, and most of us don't go walking out in, like, a western shirt. I don't know. Like, I was like, that's a guy shirt, what is he doing? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was ridiculous. Like, nobody looks like that, and then it's like, it's almost like they tried to do, like, a coming of age-ism video for transgender people. But, I mean, really, that's not kind of how it goes at all. Like, I don't know, at least with my experience or anybody I know.
I think you're comparing the drag queen experience to transgenderism, which are not the same thing. Because you can be transgendered and not be a drag queen. A drag queen is kind of its own subculture that comes along with it. Not every drag queen is transgender.
Well, no, like, I understand that, but what I'm trying to say is, like, I can be transgender and not go out of the house looking like the gender I feel. Yeah, I get that. But if you're going to go out of the house looking like the gender you feel, then I'm pretty sure that qualifies as dressing in drag. So he went out trying to dress like a girl, and he blew at it. And I hang out with way too many people who know how to do that, including myself, since I can dress like a guy. So I'm like, what the crap, dude? Like, I don't know. It's like they could have picked somebody that actually had talent.
I think if this is your first time going out and trying to go out and just explore looking like the other gender.
You don't go buy a wig at a thrift shop. Like, it's just, that's the reality. Like,
you're criticizing the fashion. I've been going, that is too low fashion.
This is how, I'm sorry, but like, correct me if I'm wrong, flamboyant gay friends of mine, but like, do we not have taste? I'm sorry. Like, no. I mean, I get lots of things from the thrift store. I have no problem with that, but like, not a fucking wig. Like, please. Okay, keep going. Why don't you say something? Because I couldn't believe the attire and the...
Yes, your beef with it is the attire.
Well, because it's utterly ridiculous, and then the way they're like dancing, and I don't know. It was, I like the fact that they kind of used the very hairy guys, because normally it's, you know, the toned, sexy, quote-unquote bottoms that you get for like...
Well, that's why
and I was like, at first I was like, oh, but they're not cute. And then I was like, but that's kind of cool. So it was okay. It was okay. Sorry. Okay, your turn. Not that I want to interject something else, because really.
Well, the thing is that I think the people behind the video said that Andrew Garfield's portrayal was not supposed to necessarily be for a transgender woman.
Then what the hell was it supposed to be for?
Somebody exploring their gender identity, which is valid, but at the same time, they kind of did it in a stereotypical manner.
Okay.
Where I get it. Because
I will let you continue.
the people who do try to explore the gender identity, I think it does have a lot to do with society's idea of what makes up gender, and a lot of it has to do with how we present ourselves, our gender expression, and that includes men looking like men and women looking like women, which for them that's having the long hair and doing a shirt and cut off short, and trying to look feminine, but not really knowing how to do it maybe.
Well, right, and that's the funny thing, like, just about hair is a side note, because my hair's short right now, and, like, I know other women, like, let's face it, like, the 1920s and everything, everybody's hair was short. Like, that was the fashion of the time. But they really looked like women, and they really presented, you know, and they I know, but they actually, but it's the way that they carried themselves and what they identified with that carried that out, you know what I'm saying, through a spiritual manner. Versus, like, my hair's short, and I can act feminine or whatever, but then I can, like, slick it back, and then you will think, like, that was a man that walked in the room. Like, I went and dragged through a red carpet, and everyone was like, sir, you look fantastic. And I'm like, thank you. You know, but it's like, I don't know. I think it just depends on who it is. You know, like, hair shouldn't identify you, because you can have short people. You can have short people, too. You can have short hair, and it doesn't identify your gender. Like, I've seen women with short hair that seem absolutely, I mean, Audrey Hepburn has short hair, you know, just stunning and
that's
feminine.
why I'm saying that they're going to try to explore gender expression and gender identity. They did go about it in kind of a stereotypical manner, and
isn't really any other way to not be stereotypical though when you're doing these kinds of things. Like, how do you explore your gender identity and not hit a stereotype?
The only way that I could say to do it is the way that you end up almost looking like the androgyny concept, where you can't tell whether it's male or female, and that's the way it gets explored a lot of the time. So I understand they were trying to do something different, and I did actually appreciate the rugged looking men who I believe they were the actors who were actually like beating him down in the bar, I think. I don't think so. No, they were the people that were beating him down were just like abusive people, and then they came out to be like, hey, look, it's okay. Look at us, and we're all. See, I thought it would have been cool if it was the same actors who were beating him down, and then when he's dancing and they.
You're making this video way cooler than it was, all right? Because you're a writer, and that's what you do.
Because I'm like,
bitch, this was like.
I'm like, what if this manly man who came after him were the same manly man who came out dressed in the same kind of attire?
You're trying to show gay persecution.
I'm trying not to flip the feminine attire with the tied off shirt, the cut off shorts, but they're still masculine with their facial hair and hairy chests. But then they're dancing in a feminine manner.
I'm dancing.
I don't know. I liked it a little bit because it was trying to play with the gender identity, but at the same time it was still kind of trying to emphasize exactly what is made to be feminine and masculine just based on what we wear.
I just have a big problem with the same thing that everybody else has a big problem with too, which is we have a billion gay artists, a billion transgender artists, maybe not a billion. It feels like a billion.
Feels like
it's my world, so, you know. But I know plenty, okay, including myself, who would love to do a role like that, who represent that community, and that should be the first person asked. Like, I understand the star power thing, and this is the thing, like, the only reason I'm taking that side now is because I learned my lesson, I guess you could say. I won't name names, but I supported an artist that was a straight artist that was singing about gay stuff. Right. And a lot of the gay community had a problem with it, and I was like, look guys, at least it's getting exposure, blah, blah, blah. But then, you know, it doesn't really matter to them, and they're more like exploiting the community to get money, and it was never really as much about awareness. So you end up getting burned in the end versus just sticking with people who care about things like that. So I don't know. It's a risky ground.
I agree with that. But you know, if you have a transgender role, then why can't you cast someone who is transgender?
Right.
But then, I mean, at the same time, these people are actors, so.
I don't want to tell an actor they can't do like they have like I was telling her. They have the Robin Williams movie. I cannot remember.
Are you talking about like Mrs. Doubtfire?
No.
Oh God.
No, it's like a real one where he's dressed up as drag queen. He performs as a drag queen. It's like rated R or something. I loved it. I forget what it's called now. Robin Williams, please let me know what it is called. Anyways, I watched it like a long time ago, and I think the actors should be able to do like whatever they want, but at the same time, like just you shouldn't have to What am I looking for?
It kind of offends the fact that there are LGBT actors.
I think it's
who
because
could have a role.
well, right. Like, I mean, yeah, it's in music videos, especially something that's short. Like in films, I don't know. It seems like acting film. It makes a little more sense. But well, no, I know my brain's doing
film.
my brain's just
a
like
music video versus.
I've had a stuttering day. I wasn't expecting to have to record everything today, and I'd be like all day. Like my friend on the phone, I was like, I don't even know why I'm talking to you. Like all you're hearing is my brain sound like a tiger. Like it was really bad. So expect the worst for the next 3 videos. But anyway, so I think that I don't know. It's
like that's why I get both sides of the argument, but if you are going to use the argument that an actor should be able to branch out and play roles like this that they're unfamiliar with, then you know what? A transgender actor should be able to play a cisgender role, a normal person role.
Anybody should be able to play anything.
And
the problem is
there's
just too much discrimination in general.
There's so much discrimination that transgender people can't even get roles made for transgender people.
Right.
And that's ridiculous. And yet, I'd be over here and I'm like, if I'm casting a movie, I'm going to cast somebody who fits the role. And if that's a transgender person, or if there's a transgender person who, like, I don't know, if you're a good actor, I'll cast you for this cisgender role. Like that, if the straight person can act like a gay person, if a cisgender person can act like a transgender person.
As an actress, I've been acting since like on stage, and I have been on TV once before, but for my acting. But I've been acting since I was 6 years old. And one of the greatest joys about acting is taking something that you are not and becoming that. Like I got like one time, I've done many roles, but it was very fun to be Genta in Fiddler on Roof because I got to paint my face up like an old battle axe lady, and I got to be very comical and like I'm not trying to be comical all the time, but so it was really fun. But I mean, I got to be an old lady and hobble around and and be in character. And one of the greatest things about acting is doing something completely different than your normal life. So I don't begrudge the guy who picked this thing to do it at all. In fact, I give him accolades for doing it, especially for contributing to the LGBT community. I just think it astounds me that we run into these situations constantly where the mainstream straight actors and singers and performers are picked and given awards and recognition over the LGBT community people, especially even in LGBT magazines. Can I talk about that really quick? Okay. I have a minor beef, just minor, with Out Magazine from the other day because, like, I didn't even waste my time reading the article. Maybe I should have because then I'd sound more like educated on it, but I didn't really care to because I read the headline and I was like, I'm done. So like that's literally the extent of it. It was like, and I have no problem because I know that these people do actually support the LGBT community and I am grateful for it. I'm not throwing shade at all on these artists for doing that at all. I'm throwing shade at Out Magazine for the freaking article. But shade. I know, like. They were listing Katy Perry, Iggy Azalea, and Nicki Minaj as like the new drag queens, and I was like, hold on, because there's a whole
nobody understands what drag queens are apparently.
And like I do understand like one artist I really like a lot, Ivy LeBon. She's like I kind of do like a drag image, and before I even came out about doing drag and I piled a bunch of makeup on, YouTube was like drag queen, like it literally gave me that immediately as my here select this to throw up in your box, and I was like what? I was like apparently they must think I'm metrosexual fritz, like ready to like roll in my makeup. But anyways, so my point is it's like I'm glad that and those artists do support. At least I don't know about I know Katy Perry does, and I'm not sure about the other two to be honest, but I do know Katy Perry does.
Well, I'm
and
not
that's
familiar with Iggy Azalea
I don't know what Iggy Azalea's opinions are on things, or Nicki Minaj.
I mean,
does she support it? I don't know.
It's hard for me to say when people support it because when they do stuff like maybe they claim they're bisexual or they do stuff and they kiss women in their videos and then they say it was basically just for
fun. Or ratings.
For fun, for the attention when it really didn't mean anything, and then I get a little funny, so I'm like, well,
Well, that's
sure,
just that's usury.
I'm like, yeah, maybe you support the community, but you're kind of doing it in the wrong way.
Right, like
you're doing it for the shock factor.
You shouldn't go to get, you know, a boner attention. Like, bitch, please.
I'm like, don't use people's sexuality for shock factor. Like, if you're gonna present, if you
don't use it as like a fetish.
Like, if you are bisexual and you want to do that, that's fine.
Yeah.
But if you want to show women kissing, I swear to God, they better be lesbians. But like, I don't know, just don't.
Hey now, they can be pan. Hey now.
Well, yeah.
Giving you grief.
It doesn't really matter. I'm just saying that I don't want to see heterosexual women kissing for shock value. Like,
it's just offensive on an ethical scale. But anyways, back to the point. With Out Magazine, I was like, okay, Out Magazine, that's nice, you know, and those artists, well, at least I don't know about the other ones, but I know that Katy Perry does do things for the LGBT community, and kudos for that. But the reality is, why do we have that article? Like, this is Out Magazine. Like, are there not enough transgender people running around and drag queens running around? Like, I can think of, like, how many seasons of RuPaul's Drag Race?
Right.
Like, I actually freaking sing good and do drag. Like, hello, there's a lot of us that do.
Yeah,
you know?
If we want to talk about drag images, then you actually go, I'm like, you go look at the drag freaking community, and most of them are singers and artists.
Yeah, we're all kind of talented.
There's no reason to be
We don't all lip sync, bitch, alright? Sorry. Like, it was funny when, for the RuPaul thing, they were like, lip sync the best you can, and I was like, do I have to? Like, can I just sing? Because, like, I don't know if I can.
You probably could have, but...
Like, no, I'd just rather sing it. Like, I did. It was difficult, remember? Like, this is horrible. I wanted to just sing because it's hard for me to just lip sync. Like, even when I record my music videos, I'm singing.
But yes, when you're pushing people who are already part of the mainstream and saying that they're promoting drag images, I'm like, the drag queens are promoting drag images. These people who are part of the mainstream art are not promoting drag.
Well, and the thing is just because somebody dresses up avant-garde does not mean that they are drag. I'm so sorry.
You're a drag queen if you're a drag
But you're more than welcome to come to my community if you want to be a drag queen. Like, I ain't hating. If Katie wants to get all dragged out, go for it. But, you know, it's like, I just don't see because... They wear a lot of makeup,
drag queens,
and because they wear like different colored hair. So. Yeah, drag queen are men. Like that's the other thing.
So you're
like
you're
they could be drag king.
I'm like
I'm a drag king.
I'm like you're a drag queen when you're dressing as Boy Thunder.
No, I'm a drag king.
But that's why we don't really have that terminology. But
we should.
We should.
I also say that I am a drag queen though because like I feel like a man in a woman's body. So when I got to do all of this shit. So that y'all think I look good, I'm like, I'm getting dressed up as Queen Androgyny today, because really.
That's valid.
So I kind of, but because I'm,
okay, I guess I'm making assumptions about these people because I don't really know them, but they present themselves as cisgendered. So for these.
Who does what now? Sorry, I missed that.
Katy Perry, Iggy Azalea.
As what gender?
Cisgender? The normal. Your sexuality and your gender agree.
Yes. Yes, they do.
Yeah.
That's why it's kind of like the stupidest article title I've ever seen in my life.
I don't know. To present them as...
And I've seen that done before. Like that's why I didn't even waste my time reading it because I've seen, I don't know if it was Out, but I've seen other magazines be like,
Out
they're these drag queens. And I'm like...
Out Magazine is good for some stuff, but you know what? They do actually talk about a lot of the mainstream artists, and sometimes they do it in a way that they're promoting or supporting the LGBT community, and that's fine, but promote actual LGBT artists.
Glad Media Music Awards, and I'm glad, I love you guys, but really, why are we constantly recognizing just straight people? And then why are, like, a lot of the times, like this last one,
I don't know anything about that.
Oh yeah, there was a ton of straight people and a lot of gay people were nominated, and I was like, what are you doing? And then, like, we dog out the gay community, well, he didn't do enough, or whatever, and I'm like, what is wrong?
I don't know.
Community, get it together. Like, I don't know. Like, I know that we have to, like, mix everything, and I think everybody deserves accolades, yes, but, like, when it keeps being the straight artists that are already making multi-millions of dollars, bringing awareness, like, there are other artists that can sing. Yeah. Just remember that.
But you know what? I'm sorry. Back to this, the music video that we were originally talking about, because I just remembered that. Like, I had this question of the trans visibility versus the people who are just exploring the gender identity. The people behind the music videos said that Andrew Garfield's character that he was playing was basically just exploring his gender identity and not transgender. So, not really sure how that changes the meaning of the video, because I can understand where if a trans person sees a man dressing up as a woman, they assume, oh, he's like me, she's like me, whatever, however you want to say that.
Yeah.
That they're representing me as a transgender person. And you know what? I would say that's valid. Because I kind of probably would have said that before I had said that he was just exploring his gender identity. But at the same time, for those people who are gender fluid, gender neutral, dual gender, however, all the different all the different people along the gender spectrum who are usually questioning their identity and how they fit into society's roles for them. That I don't know, that it's this thing of who gets to have more visibility, because I think more people right now are aware of transgender people than people who just kind of don't fit on the spectrum of social expectation.
Oh yeah.
And so I kind
try
of
going and explaining it sometimes.
It's
Even at, like I said, even at the gay clubs, they're like, what? And I'm like, oh my gosh, are you kidding? Like, I've got to try to explain it to my own community. This stinks.
Yeah.
This really freaking stinks. Especially being a girl that likes to go out as a guy. Like, that is just, like, not very common. Like, I have to, like, search to find other people like me. And I don't like that very much. I'm like, really? Why can't these people do it? Luckily, I have a few friends, but, like, some of them live in Washington. That's really far! Okay, but anyways, you know.
But, yeah, so, I mean, I would like to get to the point where we can't shout erasure or who gets the visibility from the LGBT community, whether it's transgender people or people who are on the gender fluid spectrum, because I realize that's pretty small for the LGBT community, so we're all kind of clamoring for our representation. But to get into kind of arguments about what's more valid than the other, because really I'm like, you can say they're questioning their gender identity, and I think that's also valid for a lot of transgender people, that they do go through that stage before they really figure out who they are.
I had no idea what was happening. You can ask her. I mean, I came out as pansexual, and then the next thing you know, I'm like freaking in a magazine, and I'm at some freaking, where was I at? I was at some red carpet, and everyone's like, you're part of the LGBT community. By the way, you're going to be the spokesperson for it, and now I'm going to insult you because I don't know what gender you are, and what gender are you? And I was like, I don't know what's happening to myself. And then all of a sudden, it was like this big launch, all at the wrong time. So I was like, this is a bad time to questioning who I am, like in the middle of media. But that's okay, it happens. And I think I've got it semi-figured out now until my next hormone change, or until I change my mind. But I don't think I'm going to change my mind. I think I figured it out. It's a lot of thinking. A lot of non-depressing.
It takes people a lot of time to really figure it out, especially for something complicated that is gender identity, when you realize that you don't really fit into the roles that society has.
Well, and that's the thing, is anytime I had to think back, you know, and it was like anytime I had ever questioned it growing up or tried to say something, it was always like, no, that's normal, you're straight. And I'm like, really, are you sure? And then it's like, you know, you try to explain to people things, and then you also get a lot of persecution. Well, if you ever came out about this or that, you know, a lot of people wouldn't accept me if I was gay. So I just think that, like, it never was even like a thought process. Like, all my behaviors were like flamboyant, and like I was totally like my brothers. I called them my brothers. I grew up with them my whole lives, and they were like they would talk about girls, and they would be like, so this girls always do. I was like, I don't do that. And they're like, well, not you, of course. Like, everyone's always like, well, everybody but you is like this. Like, honest, and I know that might sound stereotypical, but like, whatever. Like, there has to be some sort of reason why you identify as a gender or something.
The whole thing is that stereotypes do have some basis in reality.
Yeah.
It's just that they're stereotypes for a reason, because not everybody fits them.
Right, well, yeah, not everybody, but typically women, like, roll in a certain kind of way. And, like, you know, my brother's, like, bitching to high heaven, and I'm like, I would never do that. And they're like, well, of course not you. And, like, even, like, it's just ridiculous. Every guy dated the same thing. And then I was like, well, why am I so different? And like, just down to, like, just simple logic. And then finally I was like, oh, there's a thing called transgendered. And, oh, wait a second. Like, I liked boobs when I turned 16. Something happened. Like, I don't know. Like, it just never, like, dawned on me until, like, a year ago. It's kind of scary, but... I mean, I even watched, like, some transgendered things, and I was like, that's so interesting. Some people don't. It doesn't really. It was like, like, I mean, like, really, like, it's not rocket science, but apparently it was. When you're repressing everything to fit into a society and to survive, you will be amazed at what your brain will do just to survive and fit into society until you finally just have the balls to be like, this is who I am, and apparently you're going to have to deal with it, whether you like it or not, because I'm not going to heal myself trying to please you by not being myself and being honest about who I am. And yeah, that rant, but we're very worried about time, but what's the next thing you want to talk about?
I know you were talking about Our Magazine,
yeah.
And I guess contrary to that a little bit, Time Magazine is featured on the cover, I think the first openly transgender person.
Yay! Happy day!
Laverne Cox, COS. She is an actor. She's on Netflix's Orange is the New Black. So that's actually a pretty kind of series. So
that's excellent.
So
that's good news.
Let me look at my notes. I liked the article that accompanied the cover because it was called Transgender Tipping Point, and I think it had a lot more to do with the fact that transgender people are getting more exposure and representation, especially in the media, and thanks to the internet, and especially people like her. So I don't know. I really appreciate that people are getting this different look at transgender individuals, people in general, LGBT community. I think she said that more people have these points of reference that are kind of normalizing and humanizing, that it demystifies the difference, so that they're not being called out for being so different. When it's like really they're just people. They have same types of lives and problems that everyday people do.
Oh, and you don't even want to know.
And the average person who fits into the normal spectrum, I guess, kind of forgets that these are people with lives and families.
They
and
think
friends
all they
and
do is
problems
like go out and like
and
clean
jobs.
glitter and screw things, and I'm like, where did you get this stereotype? Like,
Right.
oh my god! Like, I mean, that was like the first thing that came out of people's mouths, and I was like, ah. Like when
So
I
do
first
march
came
and
out,
gay parades, I'm like, is that all I do?
when I first
I
came
have
out
a job.
too, I was like,
I gotta
the
work.
first thing was, are you dating Kimmy? And I was like, what? Was that your first conclusion? Like, I don't know. And the answer to that was no. But like everybody had been thinking that, I guess, for 7 years. I don't know.
It's kind of weird.
I thought it was weird.
That people, I guess, when we're out, people either assume we're sisters
or we're gay. Yep.
I'm like, is that really?
There's no in between.
People,
You're either
people
related or you
aren't
have to
friends
be gay.
anymore. Like, I don't understand it.
No.
I don't get it. But yeah,
that's how it goes in this world. Because everything's about getting laid, apparently. Like, you just can't. Let's not go on that tirade again, but you just can't have friends. Apparently.
Yeah.
No, you can have
friends
friends.
with you, bitch. I'm sorry. We've been friends for 7 years, and now I have to friends with you.
I know you gotta.
Yeah,
no,
no,
you have
yeah,
to
don't
go
be
to the
jealous.
world, okay? Because like I already knew it was friend zone. I'm just kidding.
It's not like I don't see that where I'm like, I'm a friend zone all around me. You know we're making fun of this because if you haven't seen another video, I called it.
Oh, they haven't checked because you know what? It goes up tomorrow. Oh wait, or did it go up already?
That was that part of rant. That was part of Happy Rant Day. That was Happy Rant Day from last week. So that was up last Wednesday. If you see that video, that was the first Happy Rant Day. But the friend zone doesn't exist, people. Okay, so I'm making fun of that.
Make friends. I'm being a jackass.
That I'm asexual and I have only the friend zone. There is no other zone that exists around me.
There's no other zone, eh? No, I'm just kidding.
No, there's
But
there's the Twilight Zone.
We could work with that. No, I'm just kidding.
We're gonna make an LGBT version of the Twilight Zone where.
See, this is why people think that gay people are all gross, because I'm over here cracking like pervert jokes.
And I'm over here like I'm gonna make a Twilight Zone version where just everybody's gay and like all this weird shit happens. It's gonna be awesome to watch you. Should that be the opening theme song for our videos?
Probably.
You are now entering the Twilight Zone.
Okay.
That's what I feel like we're in all the time.
So catch us again on Wednesday for Happy Rock Time.
Happy Rock Time.
And we'll be wearing the same clothes because we're doing them all at once.
We are.
This time.
But unfortunately.
Because we're gross. No, I'm kidding.
No, because I'm going to be out of town when we normally film. So we're doing it all this week. So that's why some of the stuff you're going to see later this week is like current events for today versus when you're actually going to see them. But that's
way far in advance. Which
Yeah.
normally we're not that far in advance, but this time we are.
This time we are. We're like a week in advance for all this
Not that
stuff.
we've been doing this a really long time or anything, so it's just all over the place already. But it feels
feels
like
like it,
I mean,
kinda.
did you expect anything else? Like, bitch, please.
But
Wait for my own funeral, and I'm alright with that. Okay?
please, if you like this video,
Bitch,
thumbs
please.
up. If you didn't like it,
Move along.
keep going.
Keep rolling.
Next video, please.
Rolling.
Subscribe if you want to see more, and we have 3 videos a week. The Gay Agenda on Mondays.
Oh, and telling it straight.
Telling the straight is every Friday. That's kind of our normal news. So catch you later.
Bye.